All right, welcome back. Welcome back in to Talkin' Trash. Back for episode 2, looking at the spring 2021 anime season. This time it's going to be a little different, but I am back here with Baeginning.
Howdy, howdy, folks. Welcome back to Talkin' Trash.
Not trash taste, careful on that.
I said Talkin' Trash. We're good. We're good. We're good.
That's good, I'm projecting, I almost did it.
Yeah.
So,
Alrighty.
some big news since the end of the winter season, since the last episode here, where we kind of broke that down. Way of the House Husband 2 got announced. A lot of outcry over the first season. I'm not sure if you checked that out.
No, I never checked out Way of the House Husband.
It got kind of shit on by
yeah.
the anime community as like it's just a colored in manga. Like it's not really animated. I still
Oh.
think it's hilarious. It's
Yeah, I'm
still
pulling
a
up the
good
trailer
watch,
right
but
now, skimming through it. It literally is
yeah.
just, yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's just colored in manga. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but
No, I mean I
yeah.
enjoyed it, but it's definitely not what people were expecting, and we're getting
Yeah,
season 2 of it.
and that's totally fair.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it did well, and like Netflix, it's just because most things on Netflix end up
Yeah,
doing well, whether or not the anime critique community is a fan of it.
the source material is so funny that it held up just fine.
Yeah, and
Other,
I mean, I'll probably check it out.
I still think it's worth it. It's still funny. It does its job. Other less funny news. I don't know if you've heard about this or not, but ALI, the band that did the Beastars opening and the Jujutsu Kaisen outro, so absolutely crushed it last year with their
Yeah.
debut. Won Best Intro and Best Outro in the Crunchyroll Awards, and fully deserving of both.
Plus,
Um,
that if you haven't seen the Jujutsu Kaisen ending, that thing is not only a bop, but just visually, aesthetically pleasing to watch.
yeah,
Like, go check that out, and just you'll jam out to it for sure.
yeah. So I mean, those were like the only two things they did, at least anime wise, and they were huge. The drummer recently got arrested for some some bank refund scam situation. So it was, they burned real bright, but they that doesn't
They
really
flew
help
too
them
close to the sun.
a little bit. Um, there's an anime this season airing, The World Ends with You. I think it's a Square Enix anime, and they were supposed to be the intro of that, but he got arrested like a week before it aired, so they changed their intro.
Yeah, I imagine just hitting like your highs so fast, and then if y'all know the roller coaster King Dakar at a Six Flags, where you just go straight down, that's them.
This it felt more like the slingshot you see on like the amusement park rides where they were like started at nothing, immediately to the top, and immediately to the
And
bottom.
down. Yeah.
So that's a
There
rough
was no
one.
build up. It was just up and
Yeah.
down.
Yep. Back to the happy news. Snip snap. Humble Bundle. Which I don't really check that frequently, but I saw that they're
I'm a
doing.
humble partner, but I do
There you
so
go.
I check it out that way, but
There's currently a one of their comics bundle for this month. I think it is a spring 2021 anime. You got Eden Zero, Slime, To Your Eternity, Nagatoro, Tokyo Revengers, Shaman King, like a ton of stuff that's airing. They're just dropping the
yeah, it's
first
actually
few
like a
volumes.
super good deal. Like you should like probably drop that in like the
Mhm,
links for people to click on and stuff like that because I mean just $1 gets
mhm,
you To Your Eternity, Miss Nagatoro, Tokyo Revengers, Eden Zero, and Reincarnated as a Slime Volume 1.
mhm.
So you while it's obviously not the physical copies, you're still getting yourself a
Yeah,
rather good deal. And if you're somebody like me who has spent a lot more time in quarantine investing in like manga and trying to like read more, this is definitely like a great way to like start yourself.
mhm. Yeah. That's gonna be available till April 29th, so you even still have some time on that one. But
Yeah,
I
I
just thought it
mean
was a
by the
cool
time this
thing. Yeah.
video comes out, you'll still have like 10 days or so roughly.
Mhm. And then, did you want to talk about the last piece we have there on the dock?
Yeah, because I'm a huge Gundam girl. I grew up on like watching Gundam. I remember 007 was something that I remember watching on the Sci-Fi Channel when they did Annie Monday or something like that is what they had on there. And I remember even earlier back I could see it on Toonami and stuff like that. So Gundam is actually getting a live action movie for Netflix. And I know we were just talking about Netflix, and there's gonna be a mixed bag of feelings about
Yeah.
it, mainly because it's a live action on Netflix
Yep.
involving an anime.
Yep.
Like, we know the past hasn't had the greatest of success rate with
Yep.
these movies
It's
being
not even
critically
just
acclaimed.
Netflix. It's like all
Yeah.
live action anime tends to not be good,
The
like average at best.
Yeah, definitely. The person who is writing the script though is somebody who is like a veteran in, like the comic book scene. So he's written some X-Men stuff, Batman stuff, and the director of it is somebody who directed Kong Skull Island. So there's a little bit more recency towards like this person at the very least. It's a name that maybe some people might recognize, and I want to have hope. I really do, because it could be good, especially because they took somebody who made a film about giant monsters fighting each other and
That's
is
true.
just going to be working on giant robots fighting each other.
That's the other thing I'm thinking now is you get a live action Gundam movie. Isn't half the movie going to be CGI anyway?
Probably.
Like what? At least I guess the action scenes won't be as live. It'll look like Transformers, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, probably closer to Transformers than like Godzilla vs Kong.
If it's Transformers with a plot, it has a chance. All right, do we want to hop into the underrated, the sleepers of the season?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know about you, but I swear watching this has made me really try to branch out and watch more than I would have initially had intended. Like, at this point, I with only 2 weeks in of this season, I've watched about 7 different airing anime, which is significantly more than my average, and I'm definitely finding certain things that intrigue me after an episode or 2 to the point where I'm like, "Yeah, I would start recommending this at the very least to be like, hey, you might wanna check this out. This could be something good.'"
Yeah, yeah. I usually end up picking up a few things after 2 or 3 weeks based on different communities talking about things and just get curious about it. This is one of the first times where it feels like I'm watching everything before that happens. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
understand what's being hyped up.
So, with that being said, on the topic of things that I would like recommend, at least in like a sleeper sense right now, I 100% would recommend. I've been just strictly saying Higehiro. The English translation is Higehiro. After being rejected, I shaved and I took in a high school runaway. So, as you can understand, I'm only calling it Higehiro for
Yeah,
shortening
that's
sake,
fair.
but it's actually something I've been really enjoying. So, as like the premise states, the person gets rejected, and then while walking home, and this is like the first 5 minutes, I'm not spoiling things, while walking home he finds a high school runaway, and it's just like his story of trying to develop this, teenage girl who doesn't really have much to say about her past, and he's trying to be like, what's going on with her. And I think it's like a really good story so far, 2 episodes in. It's been rather heartwarming at certain times, and it feels like a anime that is just going to be one that I'm going to strictly enjoy watching every time an episode comes.
Damn. I I read the title and closed the tab when I was looking at this season. I was like, I
Understandable.
shaved and then brought home a high school girl. All right, no,
It
thank you.
sounds like
But
one of those visual novel, graphic novels, or like isekais, with how long the title is and how ridiculous the title is. But I assure you, it is nothing like that. It's a much more serious toned anime with a lot of heart in it so far.
yeah, I you're gonna make me have to watch an episode or two. But I read that title and I was just like, not, I'm not about it.
Any person who has asked me something that they're watching, what to watch right now with what's airing, that has been like my go to for sure. So I will make you
All
sit down and
right,
watch one.
all right. Oh, God, I don't wanna. I will. All right. My sleeper of the season, which this season it feels like everything I've watched could be nominated here, but I kind of made up my mind before the season started on picking Mars Red as my sleeper. Um, it is by I don't remember the writer's name, but the artist is Kamori Karakara, who did the art for Dante Niwarao, which is my
Oh, that's
personal favorite
yeah,
series.
that's your
Yeah,
wheelhouse right there.
yeah. So like that is like my all-time sleeper. You should watch this show. But when the same artist comes out, and I love her art, I think it's beautiful. I was like I knew Mars Red was gonna look amazing. And somehow I walked away after episode one impressed with it. Like I was
Which
already
is
yeah, I was already
yeah.
very, very high on it, and I walked away actually liking it more than I thought I would. So,
And it's crazy because like this is definitely a take that would be almost controversial in a sense because if you look at my anime list right now, it's sitting at a as of the time we were recording this, a 6.94, not even
mm,
in the sevens yet. So for you to call it your sleeper, you're really banking on this like to be something that people are going to be looking forward to. And I'm willing to trust your judgment on this one. I'm willing to give it a shot because again, just like with you and Higehiro, I haven't checked out Mars Red yet. So I'm down to trust your judgment if you're down to trust mine.
all right.
Yeah.
It's
Got him.
Mars Red too. As I don't know where the story's gonna go. I don't know what it's gonna turn into. I'm hoping it stays good, but visually it is like it feels more cinematic than it does anime. It's really just beautiful to look at. So if
I'll
nothing
have to
else, the
check out the
visuals are
trailer for
worth it.
that too, just to be able to get an idea of it. Because, I mean, I remember it was so to give a little bit of story time here. Niwaru was something that on a whim, myself, the Trashman, and my cousin
We picked a
all
random
watched
number.
one night. Yeah, we picked a random number on like my anime list, popular or whatever rated ones, and in like one night we just watched the entirety of it. I remember this night vividly because of how much you specifically were into it. So I'm willing to give it a shot because that you saying that you liked it because or you wanted to trust it from Don 10, I'm like, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, just the art style is awesome. It's I have the Blu-ray of the series and of the side movies for Don 10. Like I'm about it, and I don't buy many things. That's my stack of all of my anime videos and manga. So the fact that I have two Don 10 ones is, I mean, I think the art's great.
Yeah. But we're talking about Mars Red here, not Don 10, but still.
Yes, yes. Also watch Don 10, but Mars Red is the airing one that I'm excited for.
Yeah.
All right,
Now, do you
jumping.
want to jump into Overrated?
Yeah. Let's jump into the overhyped ones, the ones that are being talked about too much here.
Yeah.
You started off the last one, so I'll kick this one off.
Sounds good to
Um,
me.
my original pick here was going to be Eden Zero because I despise Fairy Tail. I've I've watched all I don't even know how many. It's like 500 episodes and two movies.
It's a lot.
I've watched all of it and I hated every episode. And Eden Zero is the same show. It like they're not even trying to hide it. Like Happy is still one of the characters. It is literally Happy. I don't know what the girl is. It might actually still just be Lucy. Like it.
I mean, it's funny because like if you go back to like Fairy Tale, they had the Rave Master like
It's the
snowman unicorn
same
looking thing.
shit.
Like they just find a way to incorporate like one specific character no
Yeah.
matter what.
But luckily, that is not going to be on Netflix till fall, so I can pretend that it doesn't exist for the season. So this is more of an unfortunate one. I wanted to pick Eden Zero, and I wanted to upset Fairy Tail fans, but to pick one that's actually available this season, I have to pick Shaman King. I
You
wanted
know,
to
I
like it.
I think that's fair though. Like I feel like Shaman King. I don't know if you watched it very much, like the original one when it
Not
first
really.
came out, but it was never anything that like really interested me. And Shaman King, I remember for at least me specifically, I think it was one of those shows that was on Kids WB at like Saturday morning
Yeah, I
cartoon,
think so.
along with like Sonic X. And I remember in like
Kirby right
Teenage
back at
Mutant
you.
Ninja Turtles, Kirby right back at you, yeah. And I remember never wanting to watch Shaman King in that. And so like I was like, oh, okay, this is getting an adaptation. Cool.
I I have a very
That was really my
weird
reaction towards it.
I have a very weird relationship with the original Shaman King in that I don't know if I watched more than 3 episodes of it, but that was back when I was getting the monthly Shonen Jump magazine delivered to my house, and it was in there, and I actually read about a year worth of it, the manga at least, and I had like some of the trading cards and stuff, and I thought it was pretty cool, but I never tried to watch the show. Um, but
I
what?
remember I watched more of Blue Dragon than Shaman King, and I think that
uh,
kind of tells
I'm
you.
not gonna go that far. I don't know about that. But yeah, it feels dated already. Like I get that it's a remake and they're not gonna redesign the characters or anything, but it doesn't feel like a remake. It feels like a HD remaster. Like the main character showing up in class the first day with headphones behind his ears, a white button-up shirt open with no undershirt underneath, like the surfer necklace, flip-flops. It was like,
Oh, the puka shells.
oh yeah, the puka. It was like very. I think it came out in 2003, but it was very like
Yeah, I read. I was
2003
just looking at it right now. I
anime.
think 2002, 2003 is when it
Yeah.
aired.
It still feels like that. It's just in HD now. So I'm unfortunately
HD puka shells.
I that shouldn't exist. I unfortunately have to pick it. I wanted to like it, but I'm 2 or 3 episodes in, and it's just not doing it for me.
That's totally fair. And with my overrated one so far, I'm gonna go with Miss Nagatoro, just because so currently on it, it's listed as the second most popular one that people were looking forward to this season on my anime list.
Yep.
And in all honesty, I was like, okay, I'm willing to check it out. And there's something about it that just feels borderline too cringy for me to enjoy at times. Like the first episode, it was just like too much bullying without actually giving like additional input. And I'm gonna dive into light spoilers in it right with this 1 second here. And it's from what I've been told, the manga gives more backstory to Nagatoro than the anime did in the first episode, which at least provides reason as to why Nagatoro is acting the way that they are. But in the anime, that kind of just branches over it, and it just kind of feels like high school bullying.
Yeah, I. It was the second most popular, hyped up thing, at least before the season started. I don't know where it stands now. But after My Hero Academia, of course, everyone's going to be watching that. I know Nagatoro is big, like social media wise. See memes on Nagatoro for years now.
hmm
And yeah, I wasn't really impressed with the first episode. I have to agree
Yeah,
with you.
same.
I don't. I thought it was fine. I'm sure it goes somewhere good. That's why I didn't.
Yeah, I'm
That it
still gonna
wasn't my
check it
pick
out.
because I think it'll get there, but I'm not impressed after the first episode at least.
Yeah, I think I'll still obviously check it out and stuff like that, but it's like it's gonna be one of those ones where I'm sitting there like, all right, I guess here we are again. Let's see if this gets better.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I think that's how I watch most anime.
And with that being said, I would probably, without really having too many episodes, it's probably also my dumpster fire.
Mm.
Granted, I don't really have a dumpster fire listed, but it's like my overrated kind of would fit with my dumpster fire right now because there really isn't anything else that I've been watching that I think is close to overrated or bad, like Nagatoro.
Yeah, I've had a lot of trouble this season picking a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
It's
because there's a lot of good right now.
I I was thinking about it, like compared to last season. I still think Attack on Titan and ReZero would probably be better than anything airing right now. But then after that, there's like you could probably pick 10 shows from this season that fall right in line with the Horimiya and Jobless Isekai and all those. Like everything I watched, I kept thinking, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the one that's bad, and none of them ever were. I
Yeah,
watched like 11 shows, and they all were just okay. I like this. Everything's
it's one of
great.
those seasons that like everything's gonna seem to do really well. It's not gonna be like the top of the top, but they're all gonna be good. And it's a
Yeah,
different season compared to last season because the last season was a lot of sequels. This is things that you might not have heard of that are finally getting their shot, and they're doing a good job with it 1 to 2 episodes in. And I personally, and I'm sure you as well, and many others are just gonna hope that they can sustain because I
yeah.
know that things can start strong and then bleed into Promise Neverland season 2.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Anything could pull a Charlotte at any time. There's
Oh,
nothing stopping
oh,
any show this
I
season.
loved God. All right, I'm not gonna dive into Charlotte, but I have feelings about Charlotte.
I do too.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
see, I mean, my pick for Dumpster Fire, I think of the things I've seen so far, is probably 86. I didn't really enjoy what they were doing with it, but I feel like it could be okay. I feel like that one has the best chance of going downhill.
I can agree with that. I think I'm it's one of those ones that kind of like is sitting in the middle of the scale and it doesn't really know what side it wants to go on, whether it's the good
Yeah.
side or the bad side, and it's going to be a couple episodes before we can really give a rough guess right now.
Yeah, and if I have to make a prediction, which I do, on which one of these 10 shows is going to stumble to the finish line, it's 86 for me.
Yeah, it's either that or I guess Tokyo Revengers would be one that I think could as well. And the reason is just because like Tokyo Revengers kind of deals along on like the mystery side, and a mystery feels like
That's
it's
true.
very very quick to kind of fall flat if
It
they don't do
reminds
a
me a
proper
lot of
job with it.
Erased.
Yes, I agree, which is why I wanted it to succeed because
Yeah.
I love a race and I recommend a race to a lot of people. So the idea that this could be potentially something as well that could go under that area is like makes me hype, but I also worry.
Yeah. I actually, if we were recording this before any episodes of anything came out, I actually would have predicted Tokyo Revengers as my dumpster fire because the trailers for it had to be the worst trailers I've ever seen for a show. The first one was like an AMV, but like a poorly
It
made one,
really
where
was.
the characters' mouths are moving, but there's no subtitles and there's no voice audio.
Also,
It's just music.
86's felt very confused. Like, if you want to talk about other like trailers, like 86's, I was like, what am I looking at here?
Well, that's how the episodes were for 86. That's why that's why I put it
Yeah, but the
lower.
trailer in itself was like a same thing. It was like it was an AMV. There was
Yeah.
like the girl, and it's. Mm.
And
But yeah,
another
Tokyo Revengers and the 86 could be up there for sure.
another one I want to, I guess, give a shout out to as potential dumpster fire of the season. The only reason I can't pick is because I haven't watched any of it, so it wouldn't be fair. But I did want to circle back to The World Ends with You, the animation, when the drummer of the band that made your opening gets arrested days before it comes out, and you have to scramble and change your song. When you have the animation in the title of your show, it's a Square Enix thing, like I said. I think it it's a game genre anime. Like it has
Yeah,
a lot of red flags, and
it does have a lot of
I,
red flags.
I don't know how that's gonna turn out. Like I said, I haven't
You ready
seen
for
any
the
of it.
opening to pull a JoJo's, and it's just gonna be like an English song?
Uh, some of those JoJo's intros and outros catch me off guard every time.
You ready for Jolene to be the song for season 6?
Damn it.
You're welcome for that.
Let's play some buy or
Anyway.
sell. Let's move on to something else.
Let's yeah, we can do some buy or sells real
Mhm.
quick.
So this is something a little different. We didn't do any games or anything like that in the first episode. Um, But with a little more prediction-oriented show, wanted to throw in a game of buy or sell. What you think? If you think it's the truth, you buy it. If you don't believe it will come true, you sell it. Pretty simple. My first question: Spring will have one or more shows in the top 50 rated shows on my anime list by the end of the season. Just one is all I'm looking for. For comparison, Winter had three if you include Jujutsu Kaisen, and then obviously Attack on Titan and ReZero were the other ones.
Yeah, so this is a pretty large buy for me. This is like buying Nintendo right before it blew, or not Nintendo, GameStop right before it came up, and Dogecoin, because I have one name for you, and that's Fruits Basket final season. That in itself
All
is
right.
gonna throw itself up there. I mean, if you take a look already, it's sitting at a whopping 8.74 on my anime list. So I think the Fruits Basket fans in the new season, it's currently rated at 34, so it's already sitting in the top 50. So it just has to maintain its current trajectory.
Yeah, I was looking at this before the season started, and I was a sell for this. But yeah, Fruits Basket already in ranked in the top 50. To Your Eternity is also already ranked
Yeah,
in
that's
the
high
top
up there as
50
well.
after one episode. Man, I am still gonna stick with sell. I don't know that either will finish top 50, but I think it's gonna be close. I think they're probably gonna sit where they are at like
I
30
think
or
with Fruits
lower.
Basket being the final season that it is probably going to be enough for people to push it as long as they end it properly. But I mean, I've heard all like the things about how the first Fruits Basket, the author didn't like the way that it went, and this one's going a lot more in depth with things and giving like a proper thing. So I'm probably leaning towards a hard buy here. And I have a question for you now, which is My Hero Season 5 will be the lowest rated My Hero season on my anime list.
Ooh, oh, I like that. I like that question. Um, Be the lowest rated one. I'm not looking at the ratings of
Yeah,
the other ones.
that is totally fair.
And I haven't read the manga, so I don't really know what's coming. Although
And
it
I am a
is
manga reader, so that's why
mm,
I have that question for you.
it is My Hero Academia. So what is it? I'm assuming 24 episodes. 12 of them are going to be a school event, and the other 12 are going to matter. That's usually the format they go with.
I mean, lately, I feel like some of the seasons might not necessarily have 24. Like, I think well, this one is 25, but didn't season 4 have 12? Or was it? No, it was 25. Okay.
No, it was 12 that were like about a villain and 12 that were a school festival.
Yes, I
And the
remember that
season
arc now.
before that was like
But yeah.
12 that were about a villain and 12 that were like a school
Yeah.
tournament
And
or a
I think,
training
like,
arc. It's the same shit every season.
for me knowing what arcs should likely be aired in this one, that's why I asked this
Okay.
question.
I'm. You said it would be the lowest.
Lowest out of of all five
Uh,
My Hero seasons that I've aired.
I'm gonna sell that just because I think kind of what you said about Fruits Basket. I think the more seasons that come out, if you're still watching it, you like it more than the people that are stopping. And I think
Fair.
it's just easier for later seasons to be ranked higher. If you stick with it, you probably like it somewhat, unless it's Fairy Tail or Boruto or you're me.
You are the trash taste person for a reason. I'm definitely going to buy on this. And now I have your statistics for you without your guessing. So currently, My Hero Season 5 is at the lowest rated score on my anime list with a 7.68. The next closest one is Season 1 at an 8.06. So
Mm,
there's a decent amount that it's going to have to climb there. And I know the first episode is probably why a lot of people
yeah,
probably give it a low score at the start. I
yeah.
also
They're
personally don't like
doing
to give
their
scores at the start, but
yeah.
it is something to keep an eye out because I do think that this one has potential for no any specific reason other than the arcs that it's taking care of right now being its lowest rated stuff.
Yeah. I think it might be starting off low because yeah, it's a few episodes in and they're starting this season with their school training arc.
Hmm.
So you could probably get one or two more buyer sells in here.
Yeah, I'm down for a couple
Yeah.
more.
All right. The My next question for you then is Megalobox Season 2 will be the highest rated anime original this season.
Okay, okay. Anime original. I mean, I'm looking at the list of like other anime that I think could possibly reach that area, and the only other thing that I personally would like say would be Zombieland Saga 2, but I think Megalobox is gonna do more. I think for I remember people raving about Megalobox Season 1 and the music that it had in there, like,
Mhm.
not even just the opening, but the OST that it had, and I remember there was a lot of hype behind it, and I feel like that hype is going to generate further than some of these other names that probably are less known. So I think just based off of name recognition alone, on top of how Season 1 did, I'm gonna have to buy on this one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. The music and soundtrack and art and animation, all that is holding up well into season two. I think 2 episodes into it. It's that same like they did whatever trick they did last time to make it look like an old show, even though it's formatted for actual real TVs and and media now.
Yeah.
Um, and the soundtrack, the intro, the outro, and the OST are all like Latin-based music, which is really
Interesting.
cool, really interesting. I like
Yeah.
it a lot.
I love when anime try different things. It's
Hmm.
outside of the normal J-rock, J-pop with their openings.
Yeah, I love the uniqueness of Megalobox too, but I think that's why maybe a surprising sell for me.
Okay, okay.
I
One of
actually,
these days we'll agree on something.
I mean, it's good. It's good that we're, I guess,
Yeah, no.
disagreeing on these, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's some other big anime originals. The like you said, Zombieland season two. I think Vivi's Fluorite Eye Song is gonna be really good. Um, the Joran Princess of Snow and Blood season series. I haven't watched it, but it seems super different as well.
I mean, just the
Um,
name of it sounds very interesting. Like, Joran sounds like Goro's lost sibling, and then there's a princess of snow and blood.
yes, and that Odd Taxi I still haven't picked up. I think that has started, but that one I think got surprised. There's a few children's card game anime airing too, but they're not gonna they're not gonna make any noise.
You mean Card Fight Vanguard isn't gonna be the best? I know we
Listen,
love Card
listen.
Fight.
As a Vanguard player, I've seen a few clips of it, and it actually looks pretty
I'm gonna need a full detailed report on you as to why it's the best one.
good because it's only 12 episodes. All right. Do you have another buy
Alrighty.
or sell?
Yeah, I'll give you my last one here. And it's gonna be
Okay.
another like numbers based one. This one involving Miss Nagatoro. Will Miss Nagatoro be in the top 50 in terms of most watched on my anime list, but also have a score of under a 7.5? So it's already being something that is watched a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but will it have the score that is not ideal for it?
Oh. Yeah. Not looking at what it's ranked or popular. Not looking at its rank or popularity.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to sell that because I just feel like hitting two criteria is gonna be tough.
That's fair.
Uh,
That's why
I
I made it as specific as it
Yeah,
did.
I don't know if it ends up that popular. I mean, like I said, I know it was popular coming into the season, but I know some of the most popular series here, like I think Jujutsu Kaisen is in like the 80s in popularity.
Yeah,
If Jujutsu Kaisen's in the 80s, I don't see Nagatoro in the top 50.
that is fair. That is fair. So I'm probably gonna sell on that one too. It's gonna be hard for it to reach there. I think the score of it is probably going to be, but I think that the popularity part is definitely gonna be something hard to reach. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it gets better.
Yeah.
And in the sense that people recommend it, it could have a once episode wonder like Demon Slayer, but it could also just be bad and people stop watching it. So we'll see.
All right, you ready to jump into the Big Boys, the anime of the season?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Although, my anime of the season, not the main character is not necessarily a big boy, but instead a small, shy uwu girl in the name of Toru Honda, and Fruits Basket final season is currently my anime of the season.
I need to
Again,
watch
I've been
Fruits
looking
Basket
forward to.
today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's me. I What do you expect? Do you see the pink aesthetic that I have going on around my room here? Like, yeah, no, Fruits Basket's final season. For someone who didn't watch the original as a kid, not to like bring anything serious up, but like you were as a trans woman, I was like, nope, not allowed to watch girl shows, and so I never watched it back then, and I'm like regretting that I didn't because I absolutely love this. I get emotional with every episode. I have conversations with one of my best friends every episode when we're watching it, and animation wise, it's gorgeous. Openings are always gorgeous, and yeah, I look forward to it every episode.
Yeah, I never watched the original Fruits Basket either. I know that sounds probably shocking to you. Um,
You? No.
um, so I haven't watched that, and I haven't watched the new one. I know that we touched on that last episode as well.
You're gonna notice a trend about what I watch and what he watches very soon.
Yeah, my shit is yours is like some real strong romance stuff that doesn't need animation, and my stuff is like action shows animated by JC staff that I just wish had animation. The only thing I can really say
Not
about
wrong.
Fruits Basket is it does look great. I should watch it. And Kung Fu Tea is a bubble tea place that's like a pretty close walk for me. That's doing like a collab with them. So
Yeah, they're doing like a whole. I think you get like 30 days free of like Crunchyroll Premium or something like that with
and a
it,
sticker.
or like yeah, and a sticker.
I kind of
I
want to
wish I
watch
had
the
a
show
kung fu
for the
tea.
sticker.
I kind of wish I had a kung fu tea nearby because I love bubble tea, and there's no kung fu teas near me, and I'm just gonna move in with you.
All right. And I'm having a very difficult time picking an anime of the season myself.
I'm looking at your list right now, and yeah, you seemed very
Yeah,
hard pressed to pick right now.
it's a tough call because unlike last season, it felt like the popular things were kind of what the top tier things were. The Attack on Titans,
Yeah,
ReZeros. This season, like we said before, it's not as top heavy. Like it's not a separate tier. It feels like all of the top shows, My Hero Academia, and a bunch of the shows that we considered for maybe sleeper of the season, are all like A tier. But there's nothing that's quite S tier.
yeah. I think that's a
I
fair thing to say right now.
I think it's a tough call, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Vivi Fluorite Ice Song as my pick for anime this season.
Was not actually ready for that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same guy that wrote ReZero, so
Okay. All right.
seeing
That's huge.
seeing if he keeps up uh the amazing shit he's been pumping out.
Yeah, definitely.
I
I mean, that in itself already gives it a lot
mhm.
more like backing behind your take.
Yeah, I think 3 episodes are out. I've seen 3 episodes of it now, and it's it's so different from some of this other stuff coming out. Like I think there's a lot that have a chance, like Tokyo Revengers, To Your Eternity is already looking like it's a front runner.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have faith in the author of ReZero to kind of wrap
I
up and
could
conclude Vivi's and continue on the strong start it's had so far.
Yeah, for sure. I could see this season kind of having something like a Violet Evergarden in the sense that it might not have started off as the thing that everyone was watching, but if you go now, it's been 3 years since that anime has aired, and it is currently the most watched one from that
Mhm.
season. So whether or not it's the abrupt change that it makes, but I think one of these anime could very well become one of those ones that kind of pushes into like the Violet Evergarden area where as the season goes, you just progressively like it even more and you talk about it more to other people.
great setup because that's actually the exact anime that I thought of while watching Vivi's. It feels like a futuristic dystopian, like more action oriented than Violet Evergarden, but some of the characters and the way it was, it just for some reason stood out to me and reminded me of Violet Evergarden. Definitely not as good looking,
Yeah, I
but
mean, Violet Evergarden is like in a tier of its own for the
yeah,
things that it did, but
but I definitely
still,
got a
Vivi's in
similar
itself is
feeling.
some. Yeah, it's definitely going to be something that's going to have to be on the eyes for people going forward, especially with like the ways that we've been kind of comparing it and the ways that you and I have been sort of talking about it here.
And yeah, from there, I mean, like I said, To Your Eternity right now, off to a very strong start. And Tokyo Revengers, if it concludes well, I compared it to Erased. I know a lot of people have gripes over the Erased ending. If Tokyo Revengers can finish strong, I think it could finish at the top as well.
Yeah, I think yeah, like we were kind of mentioning it before. Revengers is going to be that one that is going to be the biggest, I think, one to keep an eye on in terms of its success, because as it starts, you're kind of not sure how you feel about it, but it could turn into a race, or it could turn into a mystery where the mystery is what went wrong here.
All right, any final thoughts?
Really, just the final thought that I would probably give for this season is that if you're somebody who isn't sure what to watch right now, there is a lot out there with this season, and it's not your prototypical, you have your My Hero, but outside of that, there's a lot where you kind of have to maybe shrug off the title. You have to give it an episode or two to really like give yourself some sort of like emotional connection to, because there is a lot of, I think, heart in this season. And I think that's probably a key thing that you'll see with me saying it, that there's a lot of like strong emotion being put into these episodes, and you'll probably find something that you can connect to emotionally in some way.
Yeah, I think last season, a lot of people, including myself, calling it, I think, one of the best seasons of anime we've seen. It had, I think, a few stronger top tier shows, but this season on the whole might actually be a stronger season. It's going to be very hard to keep up with all of the amazing stuff coming out.
Yeah, and I mean it's really just setting a trend for 2021 being one of the best like years for anime, and I know that's like hard to say with half this year going, but I mean these two seasons are starting off really really good, so it's one of those things where it's I'm curious if the trend will continue or not.
Eden Zero will bring down the average and fall.
Okay, well you also have well, you're talking about that, and then you also have Promised Neverland. You want to keep going about what aired last season that you're talking about, but
All right, fair enough. That'll do it for us. Thank you so much again for listening. We'll be back in a few more weeks to update on wherever we stand on this season. We'll see if anything has crashed and burned since this episode. See if anything has blown us away, and see if Fruits Basket is still ranked in the top 50.
yeah. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.
See ya.